Hi everyone, this is Ramona coming back at you. Okay, so this is going to be a video in response to somebody who inboxed me. Well, actually, I put it on the community board, so it's pretty public. And she wants my advice and my opinion about a very interesting and delicate and difficult um, question. Couple of questions. It's on religion, and it's also about anxiety disorder, and which that's not what was said in her video. I'm going to read her, in her letter. I'm going to read her letter in a minute, and but I'm just going to give you a heads up of what it's about. Um, she has obsessive. Let me just read the video. The letter. Okay. Because I was trying to, ever since she asked me a couple of days ago, I've attempted to answer her question many times, and every time it's like, it's just very, very hard. And sometimes, like, these kind of questions are like a group effort. It'd be really nice to have other people put their input and give their opinions as well, you know. But okay, so I'm gonna disappear for a minute. You'll still see me, but I'm gonna go to my letter, to the letter that was given to me, and read from there. Okay. All right. So it says this is and she put this on public forum um, for the community. So it's playback chunky. I'm sure she doesn't mind. Okay, so it says, the letter goes, "Hi Ramona, I'm back. And my question is, how do I overcome an obsessive fear of developing illnesses like cancer and mental disorders, and how do I stop having an obsessive fear about dying and going to hell? The fear is literally so bad that it takes up most of my thoughts and even makes me cry, and I don't know what to do because I can't afford to go to a doctor or anything. So, have you got any advice? I used to never be like this." Postscript, I don't feel like religion is to blame for my fear because I used to be a spiritualist, and even some mediums were 100% real, would say there is a hell because their spirit guides told them. Although other mediums who were also a 100% real said there was no hell at all, so I converted to Christianity because I felt like there was no objective truth in spirituality, and that the spirits were deceptive and need to be tested like the Bible says. Okay. Um, okay. Wow, that's like that is a lot. But we're gonna get through this. It's not going to be me just spitting it out, giving advice really quick, because this is not that kind of um, advice video, right? Where something that I can like easily just nail it. Okay, so let me get back on camera here. I'm gonna be referring back and forth to this letter. Even though it's a very short letter, there's a lot to say within it. Okay, so here I am. I'm back. Okay, all right. So, like, the first thing that I want to hit on is that what really popped out to me was that you said that you don't feel that this is a religious issue of you having an obsessive, uncontrollable thoughts about um, dying, is there a hell or heaven, um, getting cancer, because that's good that you put in there, so it's not all about religion. But in a way it is, because, what does it mean when getting cancer? It's the it's facing living or dying, and dying, where do you go, heaven or hell? So I think that that plays in it as well. So I think that the big scenario here is the big chunk of it here is two things that really pop out to me is that uh, insecurity, okay, not having all the answers, and that's where insecurity comes from. Your anxiety is your insecurity of not having all the answers of where you're going. Is there a heaven or a hell? Am I gonna, when I die, am I gonna burn in hell, or am I going to live it up in heaven? And that can cause a lot of anxiety. I don't think that it's very abnormal for you to have that anxiety. And I want to also say that I am very proud of you, because that's where it begins, asking questions and talking about it, okay, and not becoming a sheeple, okay. But I also do know that sometimes, we want to just throw our hands up and give this kind of concern off to a group of people who say that they know where you're going, okay. They figure it out. Yes, there's a heaven, and yes, there's a hell, and this is where you need to be at with us, and reading from the Bible, listening to the preacher, and living your life accordingly. Follow those rules, and you'll be ace. But I think that in your case, I think your anxiety comes from is that that's not good enough for you. It's not good enough for you because you call bullshit. You know what I mean? And and that's where I'm proud of you, because what is spirituality? Okay, what is spirituality? You know, like I think, like, if you answer your question of like, why are we here? And this is why this is really difficult, because I can't give you just one answer and then it sums up everything, because you're asking like the big question that everybody asks. Like, a lot of people haven't figured it out. So they run to the church, and they run to a certain religion, and they hide out there hoping that they're being guided by a wise one. You know, like, these group of people must know where they're going. I feel safer there than standing on your own on a cliff, wondering like, okay, I'm here alone. I don't know where I'm going, up or down. What's going on? Okay. So I guess, like I said, I think that your anxiety and your obsessive thoughts, they will subside. They will subside once you get the answers. At least I honestly cannot give you all the answers, but I can open your mind to the possibility of um, getting a grip, having faith in something else other than bullshit that you feel that they're probably giving you over here. Because if you were so, eh, the reason why I think that you're calling bullshit on Christianity and following them is because if you felt so secure in yourself, so secure where you're going, then you wouldn't be obsessing about it. You really wouldn't. You would be on stable ground. You would be sure of yourself, nothing to worry about. But you know, honestly, you would just be like on to the next issue in your life, because So okay. So where do we begin from here? In the video that you also you put this question under was my beliefs, and my belief video, spiritual beliefs video. And in that video, I had said that I left the church when I was 14 years old. The reason why I left the church when I was 14 is because they could not give me all the answers. And I was like you. Like, I started worrying, being very, very concerned. And I started worrying even more when I wasn't getting answers that clicked right. It didn't, like, what they were telling me didn't mesh with what I knew. Like, I think that we're all essentially born with the answers. It's just we have to dig it out of us and figure it out, you know? And that's what learning, you know, it's not all about religion out there. It's all about our spiritual growth as a person. That can only come with figuring things out on your own, not being a sheeple by following a congregation, a religion, okay? It's about really feeling and thinking about what do you think and feel about God, okay? And how to get there. That's what it's all about, okay? Um, I'm like, this is so hard. Okay, so I was saying, so your anxiety is coming from not knowing, for not really feeling secure in your Christian faith, okay? And then when you were a spiritualist, so I'm going to guess like when you were a pagan, you weren't feeling it. I'm gathering that maybe you were feeling it more when you were a pagan, but still you were solitary, and so the answers weren't there as well, and you're really in fear of your soul, like, where the heck am I going? Because you care where you're ending, where you're going to end in the end. So, okay. The big thing, how? Okay, so yeah, so I was saying, so the reason, so when I was 14 and they didn't have all answers for me, it didn't make sense. Okay, so the questions I was actually posing to my reverend, okay, actually, I didn't feel comfortable talking to the reverend, so I talked to the reverend's wife. Um, and the questions that I had was, um, like, people who are essentially good people. They're really, really good people. They do charity work. They have love and care for strangers in the streets. They are just amazing, you know, because I remember at that time knowing a lot of people who are just amazing people. They especially like my mom as well. You know, they run batter shelters for battered women and children, okay? And so, I mean, like, the list goes on. Of my mom was always working into the community, and so were her friends, and, you know, that's where I essentially grew up around, okay? When I was with my mom, that's what I essentially grew up around, is my mom and her friends, they would care a lot about this life. I'm getting, this is all sewn into something, okay? And just good people. They would always protest what wasn't right. Animal activists, and, you know, caring about the planet, caring for each other, and just always trying. And she loved children. She was also a teacher, and so she was just. Not because of any reason. Everything that she did, and my mom's friends as well, and was just a big community group of people, not like one or two friends. Big. She was very gregarious and out there, not like me, but, you know. But they were all about just helping. The problem with that was, and they didn't know this about the church didn't know this about my mom, because she wanted to go to church and she wanted to be accepted, and she knew that if they found out that she was bisexual or a lesbian, and, you know, she wouldn't be accepted there. You know what I mean? And her friends are the same way. And so I started asking questions. posing questions. So because they don't believe, okay, so because they are gay, everything that they do is pointless, and they're still going to go to hell. And the answer I would get is yes, they're going to go to hell. Now that didn't make any sense to me, and this is not me being a for gays activist. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? But it just didn't make sense to me. So like, you take, like, if somebody, these people, because they were doing amazing work in the community, amazing, saving lives, okay? So you're trying to tell me that because they are gay, they're going straight to hell. And that just opened a whole slew of questions for me. Then I'd ask more questions. You know, I would ask her, like, what does this mean in the Bible? This doesn't make sense to me. Um, I'd ask her just those questions. I don't really remember asking her, but I remember at the time that they were important questions about what it would say in the Bible. Um, and I would give her things that would occur in life that were happening around me, and I would ask her about this, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me. This doesn't make any sense that everybody's going to be condemned, damned to hell because of this, and why would the church react in such a way towards this? Where you know what I mean? Of all things good. So basically, from what she was telling me, is that you either just be a sheeple, and she didn't say that, so I don't know why I quoted, but she just basically, to me, saying is that you just follow the guides, which is her and her husband and the congregation. Don't ask questions, and just close it up. Close up shop, and just, if that wasn't happen, that was not something that. And then I started getting anxiety, like you, like just thinking a lot, and so it took until I got much older. There were times when I was angry with God. I was really upset, really angry, lashing out that certain things were not happening. It's just the way that my life was turning out. I was just very angry, and I just hung them up, like, for a long time. Then I got into Wicca, and then I got into just eclectic pagan. Then I'm more like Santeria, which I don't like to follow under any kind of religion, but just and I hope that you just hang in there with me through this, because it's going to be difficult coming up with an answer to your question. So a heaven and a hell. I stopped being so obsessive about that, because, I think that I started focusing on, what am I here for? What am I here for? I must be here for a purpose. And in Christianity, they say that, everybody's born a sinner. So if we're just all born a sinner, then aren't we just all going to go to hell anyways? It doesn't matter to follow a bunch of people, right? And so I started paying attention. I started, experimenting a lot with magic, and doing not so good magic, okay? And some of it is. I knew inherently, as, I'm a good person. I don't have spiteful mannerism about, a thing about me. I really don't. But I think that everything in life you do for everything in life, there is a reason behind it. And I remember doing magic that wasn't very nice, like pretty dark magic, okay? Which I feel that was dark magic because it was, like love spells and also revenge spells and things like that. People and and half of me just wanted to change something. I was just so desperate in my life, desperate for, a piece of the pie somehow, because I feel like, I was living under a rock and everything was passing me by. And so I didn't really even know if this magic stuff was going to work for me. Okay, there's a reason why I'm telling you this. Okay, I'm going to get there. um so I started doing this. I started doing magic. I started getting what I wanted. Like the impossible was happening. The impossible, which begat more stuff that I would do that was nice. But I would still get what I want. But like the things I would receive were just like it shouldn't have happened. There was nothing but pure miracle from that. So I started thinking, okay, so if I'm getting what I want, then there's something outside of me that there's something more. There's something out there that's more, something outside of me. So I was just really, really sure that um, of that at least. I became sure that there were also spirits as well. I mean, I've seen things in my house that you wouldn't believe. Okay, just crazy things. And then also going back to my childhood, I remember like seeing um, shadows on the walls, and then feeling like like there was a heaviness, almost like something's touching you, but it's not there, kind of thing. And just remembering all of those things, I even felt in the house, and I even thought like, it was also happening to the kids as well, or like if I have like my company coming here and they'll like especially in the kids' room, we call it the room. So, but like all of these things that were happening, it just opened my eyes more because I've been in this apartment for 20 years. So yeah. So like when I was 20, I moved in here 2021. Okay. So I was very, very young and searching and thinking and growing and learning. Okay. So I said, okay, so there's definitely spirits, man. And there's some spirits that are not nice. They're very mischievous and evil. Okay. So, I started getting a faith. So I guess where I'm trying to tell you where my faith was building. Okay. It's because I couldn't live my life listening to other people and what their ideas were and what their beliefs were. And I couldn't just read it from a book. I couldn't. I'm just not that person. I'm hard headed maybe or smart, you know. I just knew that I just can't, there's something greater outside of me and that I was learning, and I needed to figure things out for myself. Okay. Um so okay, so um then I started doing like I would meet other people, like one other person, and she showed me Santeria. Now this is like a really dark time in my life, and I was just begging for there was like certain things that were happening in my life where I just felt like I was being protected and guided. And when I got into Santeria, um, I learned about saints, Saint Michael, Santa Clara, Santa Elena, um, just Christian slash Santeria saints. Okay, I started praying to them, and amazing things were happening to me. Okay, I was being protected from, okay, because like the other thing that I believe is things that I was learning is that the more negative that you think, the more negative things that you do, the way that you treat other people, the way that you the if you act really funky in your life, you are drawing these negativity to you. Not only just negativity, but you're also, when you're drowning in negativity and the darkness, it also attracts dark spirits to you. And shit was happening in my house left and right. I just, I felt like I was just going like, oh my God, it was too much. And I remember I started praying to Saint Michael, which is the archangel, um, and Saint Claire. Okay, she's the one who opens gates up. She opens doors, and she brings in clarity for you and understanding, and lessons for you as well. Excuse me, if you need it. Okay, and so there's things that I've learned from that. I've learned. Um, that I'm not lost. Because there was a point where I'm just like, okay, God has just let me go, and just, I feel like I'm in hell right now. Just, I'm disconnected. I'm no one, nothing. But here it is that, Saint Michael is helping me. And do I know it's like Saint Michael? Yes, I do know it was Saint Michael. Saint Clair. People started swarming around me. That more loving people were helping me. I was getting like, because I can't tell you how bad things were. When I make videos all the time, and I always say how things were really, really bad. I mean, really bad. I was lost. My house was just horrible. It was just, because I was depressed. I didn't have nothing. The house was a mess. I had no didn't know how to take care of myself, didn't know how to take care of even going grocery shopping and sticking to a schedule, and nothing. Everything was just black and just uggs. Not good. But here it is that these things, I felt that I was just a lost child, a lost soul. Okay. But here it is that these saints are helping me. So there's one thing that I knew. Okay. The more I turned myself to the lighter way of thinking. I wasn't thinking as negatively. I had hope in my heart again. I was looking towards God as an opportunity, and I took that anger that I had out of my heart, and I was praying to the saints to help me out. Um, Things started going good, real good. And, so I learned a lot in that time. I learned a lot in that time. I learned that life as we know it, here as we stand, you and I are walking this earth. I feel like there's a heaven and hell. Like, heaven is not a place up there, and hell is not a place down there. I'm not really positive about, like, places, but what I do know is that there's a heaven and hell right here on earth. That is something that I learned. That's something that I know for a fact. That's not something that I'm like, maybe it's an idea. No, it's fact. There's heaven and hell right here on earth between people like you and me. There's also spirits on earth, like passed over spirits. And if the more you live in the light and you try to do the right thing, you speak, because you're a Christian, okay? So if you speak Christian thoughts, if you think Christian thoughts, speak Christian words, you live Christian, and I'm not talking about the Christian that they show you in the church. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about Christian in the in the sense of not being a sheeple, but treating other people decent. Okay, when when the moment that you go to the store. Okay, let me give you this example. Just small little examples. You know, you never shared anything in your life. You just stayed closed off and everything like I used to. Like I still felt I was a good person, but I disconnected myself from everybody. I disconnected myself. I was alone and lonely, and I just felt like I was deeper and deeper and deeper under a rock. I didn't understand. I felt like, why is this happening to me? Because I'm such a good person, you know. It's because you have to connect yourself to people. And yes, that brings in the good and the bad, but you have to connect. You have to, we are, everything is connected. You're not by yourself. You are a part of a whole. Think of, I'm just really quick, because I was on my way to like tell you, give you an example. But we are, life, okay? Life as we know it is a woven cloth, okay? If you remove, okay, so, and we're all in this life, and I'm not talking about just you and me, I'm talking about the animals, I'm talking about the ocean, I'm talking about the stars, I'm talking about the trees, I'm talking about the moon, I'm talking about the air we breathe, I'm talking about the food that we eat, I'm talking about everything in life, the galaxy, everything, okay? We're all woven together in a one perfect cloth, and we all need each other, okay? You need me, I need you. Everybody around in your life needs you, and etc. And we need, it's just, and if you remove one thread, and that's yourself, because you're like, say, you know, I'm not saying, let me just say me. If I remove myself from that cloth, okay, things are very off kilter. Things are, you know, you are that important. You are that. That's why they say that we're all kings and queens in this life, okay? Because you are that important. If you remove one thread from that woven cloth, everything is off kilter. Everything is not right. Something is very, very wrong. And that's when crap starts happening. You know, really bad stuff, until you get everything bad that could happen to me is going to happen to me. Why? Because I removed myself, which is like a spit in the face to God, really, okay? Like you know, it's like you remove yourself from all living things. I'm that thread. I've removed myself from all living things. Nothing, no blessings are going to come to me. No, for all I know is that I'm dead. And I'm not dead, but you know, that's how it's going to seem. Nothing good is going to. So you have to be a part of that cloth, and you have to interact. You have to help your fellow man or woman in this case. You have to communicate, and sometimes that means getting hurt. Sometimes that means, um, you know, getting shitted on. You know, that sometimes that means like a lot of crap things are going to happen to you. You know, but you know what? A lot of blessings are going to happen to you. But so you're surrounded by the crap in life, okay? But you're also surrounded by the blessings in life. Now it's up to you, which way are you going to turn? So that's where I was going to say for the example I was going to give you. The more you interact with all living things around you, okay? Um, let's say, well, you've never given money before, but now that you go to the store and somebody else in front of you, you see that they have a loaf of bread, some peanut butter, and jelly. That's all that they have. You know dang well and good that great, and looking at the person, you know dang well and good that that's probably their meal for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay? And if you see that they're short $1.50, they can't afford the bread, there's your test. Like, do you help out or don't you help out? Do you help out and face towards, the light, or do you not help out and face towards the darkness. Okay, so if you help out, more good things are going to come to you because you're a part of life now. You're part of the good stuff. So now you're in the flow of the goodness. And when you're in the flow of the goodness, I'm going to throw this in there really quick. Your anxiety and everything that you're worried about is going to disappear. The more that you got blessings coming to you, okay, the more you're going to believe. And even when the negative stuff happens to you, and negative things are going to happen to you, because that's part of life, everything holds a balance on its own, okay? Um, you have enough belief here to say, okay, I can't wait until this rides out. Get out of our way. You know what I mean? The bad stuff. Okay, and I feel like the only and okay, so let me just finish that one. If you choose not to help that person out with the bread, then you're facing the dark side. You don't have any blessings come to you. So, and that's just like one example, but like the more you do that, the more you don't help out, the more you subtract yourself away from a community. Okay, so the life community, galaxy, sun, moon, earth, you and me, God, saints, all of that. If you remove yourself from that and you're just constantly facing the darkness, well, of course you're going to be anxiety. Of course you're going to be fearful because you know dang well and good that you're connected to something. But if you're going against the grain, you're going against the grain, you're going against the grain, the more it's going to haunt you, the more you get haunted because you are a part of life. You are a part of life, and life is always going to knock, 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 knock at you until you answer. So the fact that you have an anxiety, that's kind of like a blessing in disguise as well there. That's because somebody's calling to you to snap out of it and wake up and find your own answers. And the answers I'm giving to you right now, this is just, for you to like start thinking. Start not worrying, because worrying just means going against the grain. Worrying comes from, like I said earlier, of you following in a path that's not suitable for you. It's not suiting you because you're not getting the answers that you need. Something's missing. Okay? But once you find your path, if you at least get on a path, okay, you're going to feel safer, you're going to feel more secure, and you're going to say, okay, I get it. Okay. Now, again, heaven or hell. So I really do believe that, like, right now, we are in heaven and hell. We have, just as we have saints around us to help us out, we do have demons around us, causing some havoc and real serious issues in our lives. Death even. You know, we have a God and a devil. We have um, helpful, loving saints, and then we have demons. We have light angels and dark angels. Everything in life holds a balance, and we have both. And isn't it kind of interesting that as we live right here, right now, we can interact with saints. I've gotten my proof because, I know that saints help me out. I know angels help me out. So they do exist. That means that I also have to believe that demons are, right there as well. So the more I try to be a better person, the more I try to get on my path by thinking and feeling and following my intuition, not a religion where they just say, close it down, shut it down, just follow blindly, stupidly. I felt bad for the people in congregations because the majority of those people, they're not growing as a person. And that's what God wants you to do. He wants he wants you to find your path to the tapestry of life. You know, the wooden cloth thing. It's And so I think that the more you find your path and stop being so scared. If you are here on this earth, it's because you're meant to be here. You're blessed. You're a queen. Okay? You're a queen, and when I just say blessings, it makes it sound like somebody threw coins at you. But I'm talking about put yourself up on a pedestal, because that's like you have a great, you are a queen to be living here on earth, feeling and living and learning, and you know, life is amazing like that. Life is great. It can be like chaotic and things like that, but that's why I always say the chaos happens because, you know, think when chaos does happen, because you know those are just opportunities for you to learn something. Okay, learn something about yourself. Even if you lose in the end, you've learned something about yourself. You learned something great. Just always. So let me go back to your letter for a minute. I'm gonna reread it. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I think that covers. So as far I know, I can't see you, but I know you can see me. So as far as you worrying about cancer and you know crying and worrying about your loved ones around you, it really is because you're lost, honey. And no, I'm gonna take that back. You're not lost. Because the fact that it's again, I'm going to repeat what I said. And I'm saying everything that I'm saying here is because I fully 100% believe in everything that I'm saying here and now. The fact that you're worrying is because somebody out there, ancestor that's passed over, an ancestor, um, your guardian angels, your saints, um, all things wonderful are knocking on your door, like you know, hey, wake up and figure it out, figure it out. And I think that people who I feel like people who stand on their own, who are solitary and really try to figure things out on their own and get themselves on their own spiritual path are so blessed, so lucky, really, because you're going to get a whole slew more out of this life of lessons and a closer, um, tighter connection to everything that exists in this world than somebody who's just blindly following a bunch of people and they don't even know where they're going. And you know, it makes me cry for them. I'm sad for them. And then I think that you're on another level. You're on a higher level than atheists even. Okay? And this may offend other people, but this is just these are my ideas, these are my thoughts, and I don't there's a lot that I had to go through in order to get to this point. I mean, a lot. Okay, so since I was 14, and even when I hung it up for quite a while until like it was in my 20s, like late in my 20s, you know, even that was like a learning. I had to learn that, Ramona, the more you disconnect yourself from life, the life source, which is God, the more dark it's going to get. The more the dark, you know, and the more I live in darkness, because like I didn't know what was going on back then, but now I know. the more I disconnect myself to a spiritual path, okay, an appreciation for being a queen in this wonderful creation of life, the more I didn't acknowledge that, the more I was slipping off, falling off. And what was there waiting for me? Darkness. And what was in darkness? Doubt, anxiety, stress levels, falling. There's no floor to fall on. And that is hell. That's how I feel. I feel like the more that you will experience in life, you know, say if you're like really young, like in your 20s, and I really don't even think I think 20s is, you know, is pretty significant reason of what you're going through now. But even if you're older, you're much older, like if even if like 10 years from now and you're like 30 or even 40 years old, you know, uh-oh, I don't know where I was going with that one. Meaning like people have anxiety, what you're feeling and going through and worried and concerned about now, even 40-year-olds have that. Why? Because they have been rebelling and going against the grain for so long that they're just miserable and nothing good comes to them. No blessings, no whatsoever. So let me read your. Okay, you made a oh, yeah, sorry, gotta go to the bathroom. You made a comment about, and oh, this is really good. Something that's going to back up somewhat of what I'm saying here was where you would go to mediums who, excuse me, you would go to mediums who uh, who you knew that were 100% real, and they would say that there is a heaven. What some would say a heaven, some would say a hell, and it's going based by their spirit guides. That is very, so everything that I learned, you just witnessed right there. And that's where you have to stop and listen and think. You know, you just said a slew of information right there where, you know, it is true. Mediums get their answers from spirits. Okay, people are passed over, and I think it's funny um, how trusting mediums are of their spirits because what are spirits? They're dead people, right? There were once people on this face in the on this planet, and they, you know, we don't know the life that they were leading. They could have been rapists, child molesters, bank robbers, and then some of them can just have like a normal, ordinary life. They could have been religious, non-religious. Some of them play games, some of them play tricks, and then the bad ones are really like, and also sometimes, you know, just because they're on the other side doesn't mean that they're seeing it all either. I mean, I haven't been there, obviously, but you know, just stop and think. Like that's where I'm telling you to go. Stop and think about these things. Like why why are good spirits and dark spirits together and not going to a heaven or hell? Like, isn't demonic energies or beings and mischievous, not very nice spirits, aren't they supposed to go to hell? And that's like another thing. I remember standing in my kitchen, and I was just brokenhearted, devastated by something that was, I was in a really bad abusive relationship. And I remember standing in my kitchen, and I was just having a total breakdown. And I felt somebody, okay? I felt it was a spirit, I'm guessing it was either a spirit or a guardian angel. I don't know. Excuse me. And I felt somebody wrap their arms around my waist. And it wasn't, and also you have to go with the feeling as well. So it's not just a touch, but it was like the feeling, like it was a loving being. It felt very comforting, very nice. And I said thank you for comforting me because I really needed that comfort. And so these are not just occurrences that happen and then you forget about them or you just pack it up. You stop and think about it. Like, why? Hey, ask yourself, why is it that um, have like the good side is down here with the dark side, and they're living together, and they're not in heaven, not in the hell. I mean, so wouldn't that lead you to believe that, again, what I would say is that we are in existence with um, as we sit here, you listening to me, and I'm relating this message to you, that this is heaven and hell, and even the spirits, um, like in Christian, in the church, they say that all good spirits, right? They go where? To heaven, right? Well, why is it that they're not going to heaven? Did you stop and think about that? And you may not, and you don't have to be gifted on because on a level, intuitively, have you ever called to, maybe if your father's passed away or your mom's passed away or somebody, a loved one, and you call to them in the moment of grief, whatever it is, you call them just for help, okay? And you feel that their presence there, the presence is there. Why are they there with you when they're supposed to be up in heaven? And why are they there with you if you know that negative energies and demonic energies are there as well? Like, would God really allow, a Christian God that they teach you in the church, allow for any of his um, souls to come down and intermix with negative, bad stuff going on? It just, I mean, doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense, and that's where questions come from. Like, that's when you have to start asking yourself questions. And I think that the more questions you come up with, and the more you really stop and think about it. And it's hard just to relate on yourself, and that's where it'd be really wonderful, to have like a group effort with somebody from all walks of life that you can talk to. You know, I'm not talking about Christians who are the Christians that are blinded and, whoops, I don't know what that was, but okay. Um, that scared me. Okay. But, you have to stop and answer your own questions, like, um, why? Why is the church telling me one thing about, because, like, what do the Christians say when they're trying to draw you in? They don't sit here and talk about the way that I suggested that we all should really sit and share our thoughts and ideas and stuff like that. They don't sit there and think about the possibilities and help you to open your heart and free yourself, unlock yourself to find the answers for yourself. To help you find, to get you on a spiritual path to a connection to a greater life, all things alive, like I explained to you earlier. No, they don't do that, right? the way that they get you into the church is they frighten you. They scare the living crap out of you. If you don't follow us, you're just going to go to hell. And if you do follow us, you go to heaven. Like, stop and think about like the underlying things. That's when you really have to be a smart chica and just say, what is right, what is not right. Okay, so this doesn't feel good to me. So this doesn't make sense to me. You're going to find out what makes sense. And that may be, you can take some of what I've said, and then maybe you can listen to other people as well, and listen to what they say. And don't take it as gold, but these are just, she's given me a bunch of ideas, and he's given me a bunch of ideas. And this one over there has opened the door and like, I never thought about that. And give me some ideas. And then it's your job to intuitively think things through and to connect yourself. You're connecting yourself to me, you're connecting to yourself to other people, your family, your friends, and talk it out and think and figure it out. But I always say it's never okay to follow anything blindly, not when it comes to something as important as this. That's the secret of life, is just trying to figure it out on your own. I mean, with the help of other people, but don't box yourself in. And I'm not even seeing you, so I don't know what the heck I'm looking. I'm looking at like your little picture right here. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so yes, I feel like. Yeah, so all right, so I'm going to sum that up. Okay, let me go back to my face. All right, here I am. I'm back. So, that's where you can like give it a try. Okay, about your anxiety and your concern about going to heaven and hell. Okay, start wondering. You know, don't sew yourself into something that's not right for you or for anybody really. Okay, and start asking questions and call on your guardian angels, ask them. I would definitely, I'm not saying stop being Christian, because I follow Santeria, okay, which is part Christian and part something else, okay, but I really like this faith. I like this I like Santeria because I don't feel boxed in. I don't feel closed in. But I do have my beliefs I have my beliefs in place where, it wasn't until you asked me like, what about heaven and hell? Like um I'm just so secure where I'm at right now that I don't worry about that place anymore, because I feel like I've got my answers, okay? And essentially, again, I'm going to recap, which is, just find your connection to your brothers and sisters, which is me and everybody else around you. Show love and care, and also know that you are here. A big chunk of the reason why you are here is to connect yourself and um, do charity. Okay, help out. Even here's another funny thing. Now, this is just another way of looking at your environment and how people do, and stop and think about what people, okay. People who are like Donald Trump, okay. Now you would think that, oh well, he's not really. religious or follows any kind of spiritual path or spirituality. He's all about the money and the gold and everything sparkly. Okay, um, but he will tell you that one of his golden secrets is to give to charities. Give to charities, and do you know why? Because he even knows he knows the secret, and all the Oprah Winfrey. There's not a lot because I don't watch too much TV, but all the head honchos out there, all the head people, the people who are insanely successful in life, you stop and look at them for guidance. You know what I mean? Not with everything, but you stop and because that's like a really good you know thing that I was talking about. They know the secret. The secret is that the more I give to charity, the more it just seems like to be flooding to me. Like the more money I get back to me, the more I give, it comes back to me. I give out, it comes back to me. So what does that mean? That says a lot. It says a lot. It says number one that he's realizing that it's not all about him and his money. It's all about that he is a part of a whole, which is he has to take care of his brothers and sisters and everything else. Okay, he has to connect himself to his brothers and sisters and take care of them in order for all things good to come back to him. Okay, that's number one. Number two, that says that um, heaven and hell, okay, the concept good and bad. You get good coming to you when you do good, okay? You get hell coming to you bad when you don't, when you disconnect yourself and you don't give a crap and it's all about you and that's all there is. Bad shit's just gonna happen to you. That's the reality of it. So that's like another, just, that's what I mean by stop and think about things that are around you, how people act and how people do. Look at people who are, look at child molesters, and I don't mean to go there, but let's look at them for a minute. Do you think that they're living, you know, um, getting anything good in their lives? They're not. They're chained to a devil. They really are. Every day they have to be. You don't think if they look in the mirror and they're not and they're shameful, they're not shameful, feeling shameful for what they're doing. Do and they have to look at themselves, and you know what I mean. And that's why they do some they have to hide themselves away. If not, don't you think that a child molester would tell the world, "Oh yeah, I do this. Oh yeah, I do that. Oh yeah." Of course not, because there is a big level of shame. If you imagine looking at a demon in the mirror every day, which which that child molester does, and they know what they are, they're in hell. They are living in pure hell. That's hell. Hell on earth for them. People who, like, say, Mother Teresa, what does she do? She's out there. She does charity. She does, she, all the wonderful things, okay? What does she get back in return? She gets this um, stoppable pour of love, care, affection, attention, and that sounds, but like, just surrounded by so many love of life, like a love energy, always just surrounded, and there's always somebody there. You're never alone. She's never alone. She always had somebody there to hug her, to take care of her, because she was really tight into the tapestry of life. She knew the secret. And I did another video, like, where Oprah Winfrey, she did a video with the Ku Klux Klan, where she was just like, okay, so she jumped into the pool of muck and mire, which was, she jumped in with them, fighting, and she had her own, I'm going to expose you, and they're like, we're going to show everybody that you're a dumb NIGGER, because they're just ignorant that way, okay? I'm just showing you how they are. And so for a moment, she even knew that she was like, damn, I'm swimming in the gamut of hell right now with these people. And what am I getting? I'm showing everybody that, yeah, I'm I'm coming off as an ignorant person, just like they want me to be ignorant. And the fact that millions of people are watching right now, they're all getting riled up. And so now they're out there hating on their neighbors and stuff. See? And then it grows. The negativity and the horribleness grows and grows and grows. Okay? So stop and look. This is what I'm trying to teach you. Like, so she knew to take herself out of that hell and do it in a more peaceful. And she even said that I wanted to follow into like Gandhi's footsteps. We will never be at a negative, anything negative. If you want a peace rally, we will come. Why? Because we want to. The more we swim in peaceful, the more it comes. And so all of that is everything I'm telling you is like in a connection of heaven and hell, where you don't have to worry about that, because we're living in heaven and hell right now, and you need to choose. Excuse me. You need to choose where you want to go, heaven or hell. Deal with the scum of life. You get nothing but hell. You feel bad about yourself. You feel like nothing good. But if you do charity work, you care about your neighbors, you try not to, you know what, even today, even to this day, sometimes I get a kick out of saying something, to somebody like on the internet. That comes back to me. And when it does come back to me, I'm like, oh, when it happens to me, I'm like, oh, that really hurt my feelings. Like, that's probably because I was being rude to somebody else. Even if they deserved it, but I jumped into that pool with them to fight back and forth and da-da-da-da. Now it's happening to me, and I'm like, oh, I don't like it. So I could even continue to be nasty and negative, cussing and swearing and da-da-da-da-da-da, all things bad, and create my hell. So, okay, I know this is like an hour and 7 minutes. This is like I think this is like the longest video I've ever made, but definitely a whopper of a question, and I hope that this really helps you to get on a path, or for some ideas to pop out for you, because like I said, there's 90 million people in this world. There's 90 million different paths to connect yourself to a God, an omni God. You figure it out for yourself, and that is what life's all about, is figuring it out for yourself, where you belong in this life and how you're going to connect yourself to it, and to try to live in a good way, so you're not living in hell. You got a choice, you choose. So don't worry about, the more you know the truth, the less you're going to worry and cry and worry about your loved ones, Okay. Mwah. Love you. And for other people who got this far, because this is for, for this one individual. But if everybody else gets this far, please like my videos, subscribe, and Google plus me. Whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Bye. Oh my God.